Weight training allows a student to, one kind of recognize the boundaries, that they actually have them. A lot of these students feel like tolerance is the best thing, so they really don't have a battle plan about boundaries or establish them socially.
I think weight training is important because it teaches you to wait until you're married to do certain stuff. We learned about a lot of stuff. We learned about dating and how dating with a group is more is better for our age because you have accountability and stuff like that.
Weight training is important to help people with learning how to build relationships, how to interact, how to relate to one another.
Some of the skills that weight teaches are scenarios. You tell young people, in this situation, let's say you go over to your girlfriend's house and her mom and dad aren't home. How do you handle that situation? So we try to give them good scenarios, real life scenarios, so that when they are in those situations, they remember how to react and they learn what to do before they get in that situation.
The most important thing I've learned this week from weight training is that you need to set up boundaries before you go on a date instead of setting them up when you're on the date.
It's important to respect boundaries, and that you have to set yourself clear boundaries so that you don't stray too far and you know when to stop.
Boundaries are good because if you have no boundaries, then you don't feel comfortable in just exploring out. So if you go out of your boundaries, then you're not safe.
It shows you what the statistics are and gives you actual tips to help save from sexual marriage and not do alcohol and not do drugs. It tells you just good tips and tools to use.
It's not just about waiting to have sex until you're married. It's about using self-control and ways to be safe and about consequences and types of love, and you learn a lot of stuff.
The goals of weight training are multiple in layer, but really the core truth of it is for students to realize that it's possible to have delayed gratification and not be able to take part in everything that they're around socially. 59% of the students that agree to commit with a pledge for premarital sex to avoid that type of behavior realize the delay of onset of sexual activity until they're married.
Weight training is about more than just sexual abstinence. Weight training is about character building. It's also about communicating.
And what we found is that young people who go through weight training, on average, delay their sexual debut, which means the first time they've had sex, by 2 years.
I learned that you can exercise your self-control. I didn't know that self-control is like a muscle and that can be worked out like that. So I learned that if you keep yourself strictly to a schedule or to self-control, that you'll get stronger in that.
If you keep on persevering and you have self-control in what you're doing, then you'll go farther in life.
You gotta kind of set your boundaries on what to do and know what you want to do. Set your goals, so you gotta have self-control so you don't ruin those goals.
The desired outcomes of weight training is that the students would learn how to relate appropriately and effectively with other individuals.
They break it down into a PIES acronym. So for physical, intellectual, emotional, social, spiritual, that will therein affect every area. They can control the decisions they make now and establishing the boundaries, how you make those decisions, but you can't control the consequences that happen after you make a choice.
So in physical, it will affect if you get herpes or any other STD or STI, sometimes you won't be able to have babies, you get sores, things like that. Intellectually, you won't be focused on anything you're thinking about, and so on for emotional and all that. Just affects everything.
If you're in a situation that's going to be compromising, before you even get in the situation, you need to critically think about how you avoid those situations.
You can put on a condom and it'll protect one part, your physical part, but it can't cover all the other four.
I learned a lot of the consequences of teen sex and drugs and alcohol, and I learned that if you're doing drugs, it increases your risk by 4 times. So I learned a lot, and I think I'm going to be able to use it a lot.
It's just good for anybody, guys or girls. It just teaches you to be responsible and how to do certain things right and why not to have sex before you're married because of all like the STDs and stuff that are around.
I liked how like it wasn't like fakey, like you got straight to the point, and how it was very like open to anybody.
One of the things I think I'm going to be able to use the most is I learned a lot about dating, like different ways to plan a date that makes sure you're going to be safe, and different refusal skills.
Well, in future relationships, if I really stick to what I've learned here, then my relationship will be better. It will be more sufficient, and it will be more stable, and I'll make probably better choices than I would have if I hadn't gone through